Yes, sir. What up, everybody? It's your man, DJ Caveman, in the building. Another motherfucking Saturday morning conversation. Today's conversation, though, coming from the confines of my bedroom. DJ Iron Monkey on assignment, and the Woodgrain Studios is in his house. So, this week, I get to do this shit, and I may or may not be naked, sitting at my desk, giving y'all this top-notch podcasting right now. Lots going on today. We're going to talk about a bunch of shit. We're going to talk about Ayesha Curry. Absolutely. Because why can't you? Got to. You got to. She's in the news and she's talking reckless. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about a couple other things. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about motherfucking Drake, which is not going to make my lady happy because she fucking hate Drake. But Drake hit everybody with the power flex. So we're going to get into that shit. We're going to talk about the NBA draft. And we're going to talk about the fact that your man, DJ Caveman, went to see Swan Lake. Not a huge fan of the ballet for a variety of reasons. However, I do respect what they do. But we're going to get into that. I'm going to let y'all know about Swan Lake because a motherfucker got some culture. And also, you know, I got to go on a field trip with the school because my lady's a second grade teacher. So I didn't have to pay $1 million for that shit. And we had like third row seats. So quickly, you may or may not hear in the background all kinds of shit because I am sitting inside my bedroom and we don't have the same acoustic or soundproofing as we do inside the Woodgrain Studios. So you might hear motherfuckers cutting their grass. You might hear motherfuckers starting their car. Matter of fact, somebody's warming their shit up right now. I'm not sure if you can hear that shit. But if you do hear outside noise, I got a little dog rolling around here, Fenway. He may or may not bust into the room to see what's happening because he's nosy like that. Yeah. So, like I said, DJ Iron Monkey on assignment. Vinny the Rock Lord also on assignment. So it's just DJ Caveman right now kicking it for y'all. Solo. May or may not be butt naked doing the podcast. So you may or may not be listening to the first ever butt naked podcast for the Saturday morning conversation. Because I may or may not be butt naked while doing this podcast. I may have on just boxers. I might just be wearing socks. I may have on full clothing. You don't get to know because there's no video feed today, so I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing. So yeah, just let that seep into your head and enjoy all of the delicious thoughts about me. Unless you're related to me, then I'll have no delicious thoughts about me being butt naked podcasting because that shit's gross. But I'm working on my abs, so I feel like I need to show them shits off. But right now, the abs only come out, you know, when I'm at home. So the abs may or may not be on full display right now as I do this podcast. But enough about me, and let's get into this motherfucking podcasting right now. The huge story of the week. The one that's catching the most traction is this Ayesha Curry shit. Now, when I heard about it, I was immediately like, fuck is this bitch talking about? She fucked with Steph Curry. Steph Curry like the coolest, nicest dude. And he's probably, arguably, top 5 NBA player of all time. But definitely like top 5 shooter, if not the best shooter. Not so much like technique-wise or purity-wise, but the numbers he puts up is ridiculous. This chick went on Red Table Talk. Shout out to Jada Pinkett. Hashtag label out Red Table Talk on Facebook. Watch. And basically, the short version of it, because it's like 30 minutes long. So if you want to go watch the shit, you go watch the shit. Is Ayesha Curry. Let me just put some background to this, because She been out here getting dragged through the internet, and some of it is absolutely fucking hilarious. But she been out here getting dragged through the internet, and I was like, damn, did she really say out loud that she want other motherfuckers to think that she's sexy when she married? Like, I don't think that's some shit that married people should say out loud. Because you married. You were supposed to have married the person that, you ain't supposed to be even like, entertaining other motherfuckers. You're supposed to be a curve game, supposed to be extra strong, because you can't stop people from, coming up and saying what's up. But you can shut that shit down immediately. You know what I'm saying? So that's just I was kind of like, yo, what's wrong with this chick? She got a millionaire. He's young. He's good looking. He's athletic. He's a good dude overall. You don't really see Steph in the media like that for doing ratchety ass shit. So I'm like, damn, why is she tripping, right? So I try to find the video, and first I hop on, the magic of the interweb, and that's just motherfuckers just dragging her through. So I don't have time to be trying to search through all that shit. So I go right to the source, because I was like, I'm not going to talk about this without at least hearing exactly what she had to say. Now, if you don't know what Red Table Talk is, that's Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, her mom, and Willow, the daughter. And they said at this big red table, hence the name, and they talk to all kinds of people. Anyway, so this particular show, they're in North Carolina at Del Curry's crib, father of Steph Curry, great NBA basketball player. If he was born, shit, some of y'all probably don't even know who Del Curry is. But anyway, they're at her house. So it's Ayesha Curry, wife of Steph Curry. I don't even know her name anymore. I watched this shit like 10 minutes ago. Already forgot everybody's name. But Del Curry's wife, and then the daughter, Steph Curry's sister, and fucking Seth Curry, which is Steph Curry's little known brother, also in the NBA, also a fantastic shooter, plays for the Portland Trail Blazers. If they win today, then it'll be Curry versus Curry in the Western Conference Finals, but we'll get to that later. So there's these four ladies. So you got Ayesha Curry, you got Del Curry's wife, Miss Curry, you got Seth and Steph Curry's sister, Sister Curry, and we got Jada Pinkett, and we got what's her name? She's Austin Rivers' sister, Doc River. Used to be coach of the Celtics for y'all local motherfuckers. Doc Curry's daughter, who's married to Seth Curry. And then we have Willow Smith and Jada's mom. So you got all these ladies at the table. So they're talking about NBA shit and just being famous and then having famous husbands, or not being famous and having famous husbands, and the thirst that surrounds, if you date somebody who has the popularity of a Will Smith or Seth Curry or Steph Curry or Del Curry. NBA guys tend to, be followed by the thirst, as do actors, all that shit. Basically, if you have any kind of notoriety on any level, local level, high school sports, college sports, athletics, all that shit, you might just have a ton of money, drug dealers, all that shit, the thirst, fitness models, the thirst just kind of follows you around, right? But it's enhanced when you're also in the spotlight. So they're having this whole conversation about how do you deal with this and how do you deal with that, and the schedules and the difficulties of being a mom, but also being married to someone who's famous and losing your identity. Got it. And then Jada Pinkett, she threw the grenade out there. She just threw it out. She was like, how do y'all handle the thirst? I'm paraphrasing, but basically she was like, how do y'all handle bitches trying to fuck with your dude 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, because they trying to, fuck up your happy home, whatever. So here's where it gets dicey, right? everybody kind of gave like a textbook answer. It's tough, but we just deal with it because at the end of the day, we got to have our own level of confidence, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? They left that like super insecure shit. Even though they said they had some insecurities, they didn't really, throw that out there like Ayesha Curry did. She basically said, and I'm going to paraphrase because I don't have the video up in front of me right now, but what she said was not, and the internet is dragging the shit out of her, trying to make it seem like she was like, hey, everybody, I still think I'm kind of sexy. You should fucking holler at me because nobody hollers at me. That's not what she said. What she said was what everybody thinks. But nobody really says that shit out loud. It's like when LeBron said, I'm the greatest player of all time in the NBA. You're not supposed to say that shit. You're supposed to let other people say that shit. You're not supposed to say that shit. And there's a level, like, have confidence, but there's certain shit that you're just not supposed to say. It's like talking about a no-hitter. You're not supposed to talk about a no-hitter. There's some dudes on the bowling alley about to throw a 300 game. You don't distract that motherfucker. You don't say that shit out loud. Same thing. She says she is upset or has insecurity about the fact that Steph Curry has all these ladies trying to like get at him every day about whatever. And she doesn't have that. So it adds an insecurity to her life because she doesn't have any thirst that she sees or that she notices or that she reads about online. Now, to the defense of the show, they kind of checked her, you know what I'm saying? They were like, look, sweetie, you just don't see the thirst because you're not trying to see the thirst, but trust me, the thirst is there. Steph knows there. There's dudes out there that's trying to, would love to fuck with Ayesha Curry. She's not terrible looking. And she got her own money with her little cook line and her little shows, and she's got a couple restaurants. So it's not like she's just some ragamuffin ass chick. Just dated myself using ragamuffin anyway, but she's not like a total dub. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've seen some of the memes up there where they compare her looks to Hines Ward, Hall of Fame wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I could definitely see that shit. That shit was hilarious. But also how she looks now is like fresh off a new baby. So give her some time to get her snap back together. You know what I'm saying? In her earlier days, she was kind of cute. But anyway, she's basically saying that, aside from all the other things that dating an NBA player or somebody who's famous will cause a little bit of anxiety because you're always thinking about like, damn, all these people trying to get at my significant other. Like, what do I do? And then, Steph, he got to be in the spotlight, right? Because he can't have motherfuckers talking bad about him. Steph was an asshole when I met him, such and such, such and such. So, of course, he's going to be nice to people when they approach him. Now, obviously, if you're not really secure with your situation, then that might cause a little bit, especially if because, and I'm gonna just kind of put women out there a little bit. Y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all don't give a fuck. Like thirsty ass dudes. Like, dudes don't give a fuck neither, but, like, we'll be like, all right, hey, what's good? What's your situation? Dudes, or at least, even if they don't give a fuck about the situation, they'll ask about the situation. Hey, you got a man? Oh, you got a man? Damn. You love him? All right. Well, shit, if you ever fuck up, call me, right? That's kind of like how dudes do that shit. Women tend to, like, plot and scheme and, just from what I've seen, women are much more like methodical about that shit. So dudes don't always see the nonsense that could be happening in front of them until it's like, right, boom, right in their face. Chick whip her titties out and you're like, whoa, hold on, sweetie. I got a wife or a fiance or a girlfriend. Like, we can't be getting down like this. You fine, but you got to kick rocks. Women tend to see that shit early when it's like, damn, this bitch, is over here really trying to holler at my man right now, and his dumb ass don't even see it. And they get mad at their dude. Two things about this Ayesha Curry shit. First of all, telling the world that you're upset that nobody's thirsty over you like they are your husband, that's the issue. Like, that's some real jealous shit. You shouldn't be jealous of the person that you're married to on any level. If anything, y'all should be trying to build each other up. And that type of, like, weird, low-key jealousy, that shit don't work out. You might not be married that long if you keep that shit up. Second of all, that's just not a thing that you say out loud. Everybody, I don't give a fuck if you've been married 30 years or 6 months, or if you just newly engaged, or if you just got together. People like to hear that they still got it. They just like to know that they still got it. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? Steph, I mean, right now, he's getting it. He got it. Everything about Steph is appealing. You know, light-skinned dudes is in right now. All that. So, obviously, and he plays in the league. But I'm sure that when he retires from the league and he's no longer Steph Curry, air quotes, that he's going to be like, damn, chicks don't really be trying to flock on me like they used to, even though I wasn't really trying to entertain that shit. Motherfuckers just like to know. You were supposed to keep that shit to yourself, Ayesha Curry. You're not supposed to be out here, because what happens, because the internet thirst is absurdly real, you're just supposed to, the second that you say, oh man, it kind of makes me upset that nobody's really thirsty over me, one of two things is going to happen. Your inbox is going to blow the fuck up. Your internet, all these dudes about to be shooting their shot no matter what. And it makes your dude look a little bad. Like, damn, she got Steph and she's still asking the world for thirst? That's not a good look, basically. You should have kept that shit to yourself. There should have been some shit. I mean, Steph probably knows. Like, listen, in my relationship, my lady, I'm sure we in the gym, we trying to get sexy and shit. I'm sure it's cool for her when dudes try to be like, yo, what up? And she's like, blam, I got a fiance now. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all that's supposed to happen. But it always makes people feel good to know that they still got it. But you're not supposed to say that shit out loud, thus making your shit. Because the first thing that motherfuckers think is, why is she so unhappy? She got a millionaire boyfriend, husband, kids, family, picket fence, all that shit. She got all the shit that motherfuckers want. And she's not happy? Like, nah, she's trying to fuck up the game for everybody right now. That's like even little, because it's like, anyway, enough about Ayesha Curry. You fucked up. That's all I want to say about that. I understand you weren't necessarily like talking bad about your guy. And I'm sure you're very happy in your shit. But you just want to have thirst. Everybody wants to have thirst. You can't tell that shit to the thirst, or the thirst will come crashing in like motherfucking White Walkers at the wall in Game of Thrones. That's that Game of Thrones reference. And now you can't stop what's happening because, you know, you probably got the thirsty motherfuckers in there, but then you also got the motherfuckers who's like, yo, what the fuck is this chick talking about? And now you're getting dragged through the internet and motherfuckers talking about how you look like Hines Ward. Hopefully you've learned your lesson. Hopefully Steph don't divorce you for some stupid shit, because the fact that this got to the internet means you've been fucking probably saying this shit for a minute. And the fact that you always dragging thirsty bitches online and on TV, and now you gonna act like one of those thirsty bitches. That's not a good look for you, Ayesha Curry. But I digress. Speaking of, so while we on the concept of Currys, we're gonna talk about these motherfucking trash ass Rockets. First of all, Golden State, best starting five in basketball 2 years ago when they won 73 games, right? Pre-KD. Then KD went and joined the Golden State Warriors, the unstoppable force. They won the title. Now, the only reason that they didn't win a repeat title is because of Kyrie Irving, who may or may not be a Knick next year after the Celtics got fucking rolled out of the fucking playoffs by the Milwaukee Bucks. Which is something I never thought I would say out loud. The Celtics got rolled out of the playoffs by the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't even remember. I'm 41 years old, I think. But I don't ever remember the Milwaukee Bucks ever being good. Like, ever. Like, ever. Like, I don't even know anybody who owns a Milwaukee Bucks jersey up until recently. So I'm like, damn, what's happening with the league? And this is the same Celtics team that went to the conference finals, game 7 last year, almost went to the finals. The only difference is that Kyrie and, what the fuck is his name? Gordon Hayward came back. And so the chemistry was probably fucked up. But now they're about to blow that team up, so I don't really give a shit. Anyway, last night, game 6, Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors, no KD. First, wait, let's go back. No Boogie. So now, these games have been much closer than probably they should have been. So you got no Boogie. And the games have been battled. Some of the best playoff basketball I've seen in a while. So, no Boogie. Then, KD goes down. And everybody on the sports talk radio, the ESPNs, the Fox Sports, the internet, the Facebook, everybody's like, all right, no KD. That means that the Rockets, they've been playing them close with KD. So now without KD, the Rockets should just go in there and, river dance on these motherfuckers and take it to a game 7. They got no chance. No KD, no chance. Who even knows if Golden State can even still win the series? This could be the Houston Rockets year. Healthy Chris Paul, ISO ball is working. I'm not calling him the beard. I'm only calling him ISO ball because the motherfucker don't never pass. But whatever. James Harden does his thing, but I'm gonna call him ISO ball. So ISO ball's doing his thing. He cooking the team. Even I was like, damn, that might not be a good look. Because you never know with the new dynamic how it could work. They're going to run faster, but that kind of plays into Houston's hands. So let's see. We'll get a game 7. Maybe KD will come back. It's good for basketball. I don't even like basketball, but I'm watching a lot of this series specifically. So game comes on. Watching the game. Actually, it was movie night with the family, so I didn't watch the beginning of the game. But I came in like about second quarter. I throw the game on, and it's tied. And I'm like, how the fuck is this game tied? Like, they should be smacking them. Anyway, like you all forgot about, I, too, briefly forgot about the Splash Brothers. These motherfuckers, like, think about it last night. The team that was on the court last night beat, minus a few guys, right? Because they're in different teams or whatever. But the core, Steph, Clay, Draymond, those guys, Iguodala, Sean Livingston, those guys won 73 basketball games. 73. There's only 82 games in the season. These motherfuckers won 73 of those games. Without KD, without Boogie. And again, the only reason they didn't win the title that year, magic happened, and Kyrie cooked Steph at the top and banged that 3 in his eyeball, game closed. That was when LeBron said that he was the best player of all time, even though he didn't want none of KD. But that's a whole other podcast. So I'm like, damn, these dudes is playing these guys. It's going to be a good game. You know what I'm saying? Splash Brothers back. But then they flashed a little graphic up where Steph ain't got no points. Steph Curry, greatest shooter in the game. 0 points. Not only does he have 0 points, he's sitting on the bench because he got 3 fouls in like the first 12 minutes. So now he's sitting on the bench, not being effective. The whole first half, 0 points. And I'm like, dang, Steph Curry don't really foul that much. Like, maybe the refs is in the pocket. Who knows? After watching the highlights, it was definitely fouls, but whatever. Steph Curry didn't have a good night starting out. But Clay was keeping him in the game. And I'm like, all right, Clay, Draymond, these dudes must be doing work. Draymond Green only had like 8 points. I don't even think he scored in the second half. So, all right, but Draymond does it in other ways. You know what I'm saying? He's grabbing boards. He's, pushing the ball. He's getting steals, all that shit. Draymond is Draymond. Clay, lighting it up. All right, so you got one guy lighting it up. But nobody else seems to ever really be scoring. But I guess the bench was getting it in, right? So now the game is tied. I'm going to fast forward to the end of this shit. Because all that matters is that the Rockets are fucking trash. Trash. And they need to blow that team up or fire D'Antoni and get rid of that ISO ball shit. Because that ISO ball shit is obviously not working. So the Rockets have been, 2015, they lost to the Warriors. 2017, they lost to the Warriors, right? 2018, they lost to the Warriors. 2019, they lost to the Warriors. So you got 4 years of ISO ball so far and no titles. James Harden, you're a fucking bum. You're like the A-Rod of the NBA. Super good during the regular season. Super good. Soon as the playoffs come, you're like mediocre at best. But when it's time to like be the person you are in the regular season, when it's time to be the MVP, when it's time to bring that shit home, I don't know, you just go back to the motherfucking dressing room, bro, because you ain't doing shit out there right now. Nothing. You didn't do shit. And this is why you're out here fucking... And I like James Harden's game. Not a huge fan of ISO ball, but this is a dude who was like a sixth man. He went from the sixth man on OKC or like that, like the guy they talked about after, was always like KD, Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, and then James Harden. So I respect the man's like art and his work ethic, but there's a few guys that just right off the top of my head that like have this like regular season epidemic, right? Where you're incredible during the regular season, like unstoppable. Motherfuckers is basically polishing off the MVP for you. And they're like, this team has the best chance to get to the to the finals and win. This is the best team. This is the team that matches up the best against the Golden State Warriors. It's a no-brainer. They're going to do it at some point. Even D'Antoni afterwards was like, we're going to win a title with this team, with James Harden, because blah, blah, blah. First of all, only way y'all getting out the West is if they blow up the Golden State Warriors basketball team. If they don't blow up that basketball team this year, like, and I'm not talking about KD going to the Knicks, because first, he's crazy if he does that shit, but there's some logic behind it. I think it's crazy. But KD would have to go to the Knicks, right? Then Klay Thompson would have to go to wherever he wants to go, the Clippers or some shit. Then Draymond would have to go somewhere. Draymond's from Flint. Maybe he'll go back to Detroit. That would be kind of dope. And like Steph would have to retire. So they're a little older. So we'll see what happens with the Warriors. But they got to blow that team completely up for the Rockets to get out of the West. With that said, the Splash Brothers reminded everybody that they the motherfucking Splash Brothers and that they don't need KD, which is another reason why KD might leave, because he sees how much more efficient. I think they're like 28-2 or 28-1 or some shit, some ridiculous number where they win like 80-90% of the time without KD on the floor, because Steph makes that team go, period. KD's a beast, but Steph makes that team go, and Clay makes that team go. So as long as those two dudes is playing together, you ain't gotta worry about Golden State. Now, this next matchup, I'm gonna ride with Portland because I really like I feel like Dame is that dude, and honestly, I kind of like this Portland matchup better than I liked the Rockets matchup. Oh, for a couple reasons. Dame's playing lights out, but more importantly, this will be the first time that the Curry. Now, I say this, but before I say this, you should know that like Steph is undefeated against the Trailblazers in the playoffs, 6-0. But you have an opportunity for him to have to be guarded by his brother. Now, far as I know, growing up, the people that guard you the best are the people that really truly know your game. So if I'm the coach of the Trailblazers and we make it to the conference finals, I'm putting Seth on Steph and be like, yo, you know how to guard your brother better than everybody. Guard your brother, don't let him score. Now, this could be unless Steph been cooking this dude his whole life, and then it's a terrible idea because why would you put the guy on Steph that Steph also knows how he plays D? So it should be an interesting matchup, you know what I'm saying? Like on both sides of the ball, because Steph knows exactly how Seth is gonna play him and vice versa. So it could be a battle for the ages, because I like to think that Seth Curry's a little underrated, you know, just because of who he is, you know what I'm saying? He like Ayesha Curry, is kind of in the shadows of the Steph Curry phenomenon, right? However, and maybe he like doubled down with that shit, because now he also married Doc Rivers' daughter. So like, is he now in the shadow of like Doc Rivers and Steph Curry? Is he kind of gonna fade away? Anyway, there's a lot of places you can go with that. But the moral to what I was trying to say is that the Rockets are fucking trash. And there's no way that they should have lost that game with a healthy James Harden and a healthy Chris Paul and PJ Tucker playing great basketball. And what the fuck is the other dude's name? Something Gordon. Yo, they were shooting the lights out for most of the game. And then, you know, as usual, ISO ball took the fourth quarter off when it counted. But enough of that. Well, we're going to stay on the NBA, though, because draft lottery happens in just a few days. And the Zion sweepstakes, we're going to know exactly where Zion Williamson's going to go. Now, people will argue he's not the best player coming out of the draft, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. He may not be the most polished player coming out of the NBA, but he's definitely the most gifted player that's about to get drafted. It's like when LeBron came out, right? LeBron wasn't the most polished player in his draft class. He was only 19, 18 years old. There's no way. There's other players that have much more experience than LeBron. But LeBron, when he came out, was the most physically gifted player and maybe the smartest player as far as like basketball IQ to come into the draft that year. Zion, to me, is the most physically gifted and possibly the smartest basketball IQ to come into this draft. All you got to do is watch him play. From the time he was 8 years old and he was like 6'5", dunking on other 8-year-olds, which is just abusive to me. Like, how you gonna be eight in 8th grade, be like 6'5", dunking on dudes that, you know, the average kid in the 8th grade is like maybe 5'5", some shit. So he's had an unfair advantage. And everybody was like, oh, well, we'll see when he gets to college. Y'all saw. So there's no way this dude's not going number one. He's going to sell the most jerseys, right? He's going to sell the most tickets. He's going to put the most asses in the seat. He's going to have that LeBron, Kobe type effect on the game. Jordan. But people didn't really talk about Jordan early on. He was good, but they didn't really start talking about Jordan until like later on. But as far as like coming into the league with all the fanfare, LeBron, the last person that I remember coming in with this much hype, right? So there's no way he's not going number one. Here's the conspiracy. The Knicks were fucking terrible. They have something like a 14% chance to win the lottery or the draft. As far as numbers go and how many little ping pong balls, etc., etc. What you guys don't understand is that the draft is already determined. The Knicks are going to have the number one pick because it's what the league wants right now. The Knicks have been fucking terrible. They had a bunch of people come in and they haven't, I think that the league was just waiting for this generation. They couldn't get Bron, right? Which you would have thought would have been the last time the Knicks would have fucking fixed the draft. But they want Zion, right? They probably didn't even think they would get LeBron because LeBron was like, I'm going to stay in Cleveland. I was really where I want to play, blah, 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 blah. Zion doesn't have that kind of allegiance. And it takes me back to, some of you will remember and some of you won't. There was a time way back when, and don't mind the noise in the background, I just got to grab some shit. There was a time way back when, way back in 1985. God damn it. Here we go. 1985 was the time. There was a gentleman by the name of Patrick Ewing, and he was coming out of the NBA draft, and he was going to be the number one pick in the draft no matter what. And it just so happened that the Knicks, who didn't even have the most ping pong balls, ended up winning the first pick in the draft. Why? Because it was going to be great for the league. I'm just over here fumbling with this plug right now because we can't have the computer going off on us, so I got to plug this shit in. And believe it or not, you know what I'm saying, I'm a believer in this situation that, and we should have the man Tony L back on because he's an avid basketball fan. He's our resident basketball expert, but there's a few of us. Even DJ Iron Monkey, huge Knicks fan, so I'm sure he's all about it as well. As far as the Zion sweepstakes, hang on one second. It's live right here. This is the beauty of live radio, right? Shit. We gonna plug in? All right. Now the show can continue without interruption, because that would have been a shitty move, being like 40 minutes in and then having the machines just all die. So yeah, basically the Knicks are going to fix the draft lottery and they're going to get the number one pick. And if they don't get the number one pick, it's only going to be because everybody knows that the Knicks are trying to fix the lottery and that the NBA is trying to fix the lottery. Here's how I know this is going to happen. All of the talk about Zion Williamson at the next level has only started with the Knicks. In fact, no other team has been talked about when people talk about where Zion's going to end up. It has always been about Zion ended up on the Knicks. Oh, next year when Zion's on the Knicks. Next year, KD, Kyrie, Zion on the Knicks. The only way that KD is going to go to the Knicks is if they get Zion or if they get Kyrie, and then that will pull KD and then they'll have Zion in the mix. None of this talk was ever speculative. It's always been when Zion gets to the Knicks, the change that it's going to have on the Knicks. Now, DJ Iron Monkey right now would be like, no, this is not how it happens. Dude. Because, he's a Knicks fan, right? So we got to protect his team. I'll feel the same way. If it was my Pistons, I'd be like, nah, they're not going to fix it. It's going to be magic, air quotes. Except the news cycle is making it so that he can't go anywhere else. Like, he can't go anywhere else. To the point where even if the Bulls win the lottery, that somehow the Knicks will trade up to the number one pick. I don't know who would trade the number one pick, knowing that you have Zion right there waiting for you to rejuvenate your squad and to sell all the tickets and the jersey sales and all the dollars that come with getting Zion. Until today, where I think that the media and the NBA caught up to the error of what they were doing. And for the first time today on the ESPN network, hashtag label out, they mentioned another team, which was the Bulls. So now they're doing this thing as they lead up to the draft. How does Zion impact what team he might go to if they win the lottery? But guess what team they started out with? The Knicks. So when Zion goes to the Knicks, that basically is going to happen. Unless some weird backdoor, officey type, greasy, money in the envelope situation happens, Zion's going to be a Knick, which is, going to make DJ Iron Monkey ecstatic. Because that should also bring Kyrie, who's definitely not going to be a Celtic this year unless they pull the Brinks truck up and just throw extra money, or fire Brad Stevens, or bring in somebody else. So, Knicks are fixing the draft. The Rockets are trash. Ayesha Curry, yeah, you fucked up, but it wasn't like as bad as the internet is making. But you should buy your husband a diamond ring or something. Buy him something. Smooth that shit over. You know what I'm saying? Like, when husbands fuck up and fiancés and boyfriends, when we fuck up, we gotta come through and, smooth that shit over. Now, everybody's level of smooth that shit over is different. Some of men, they can get away with just coming through, laying the pipe, shit smoothed over. Some dudes could just show up with chocolate, boom, shit smoothed over. Some dudes could just apologize, give the eye wink, put the hand on the shoulder and shit smoothed over. Some have to buy diamonds and shit. They gotta buy diamonds, they gotta buy cars, they gotta buy puppies, they gotta buy a litany of shit. Steph Curry, you need to be on Ayesha Curry's ass for this. Not that, because like I said, I don't feel like she was being like, I want other motherfuckers to holler at me. I don't think that's what she was trying to do. She wasn't like, I see dudes at the time, all the time, and they never holler at me, and that makes me sad. That's kind of not what she said either. Basically, she just wants to know that dudes want to, she wants to see that same energy that Steph Curry gets, where it's like, oh, Steph, he's a snack, blah, blah, blah. She just wants to see that shit on the internet. I don't think she wants dudes rolling up on her at the fucking gas station like, what up? How you doing? You Ayesha Curry, right? Yeah, I love the way you be cooking them biscuits. I don't think she wants that. I think she just wants to see the shit on the internet because it's like, it'll fucking make her happy inside. So I think that but do I think the internet is wrong for dragging her ass through the mud? No, because let's just think about this in reverse, right? I say out loud, damn, it sucks that all these dudes is looking at my lady and shit, and ain't none of these chicks trying to look at me like I'm some delicious, tasty ass morsel. But I say that shit out loud on a TV show for everybody. That's it's a little, you just don't say that shit. Because now you make the whole relationship tense, right? Because my lady's going to be like, why the fuck you need all these bitches thirsty over you? What the fuck is wrong with me, right? So in the reverse, and then her girls gonna chirp in, yeah, babe, that's what is wrong with these motherfuckers. They always out here talking about they want all these bitches to love them, blah, blah, blah. And what about you, sis? You sexy too. He should only be worried about if you love him, right? And then the fucking hate train begins. Boom. Same shit for you, Ayesha Curry. Not saying that I would want that thirst coming to my front door, but it's okay to feel like, when I'm in the gym getting my motherfucking brolic on and, to feel like, you know what? Chicks is looking at me and I'm looking delicious to the motherfucker all glistening in here in the gym. But that's an internal thought. Just like when my lady over there doing her squats and shit, I'm sure she's like, yeah, I've seen motherfuckers, they burning a hole in my ass cheeks right now while I'm doing these squats. But that's an internal thought. So your dragging is deserved because the shoe is on the other foot for you now, you dumb, silly girl. Drake bought a motherfucking plane. He ain't renting a plane. He not leasing no fucking NetJet shit. Now, I'll preface this by saying I fucks with Drake. I more so fucks with rapping ass Drake. Not a huge fan of singing ass Drake. However, singing ass Drake move units for the ladies. I work in an industry that, is dominated by women. Strip club shit. They like singing ass Drake. I'm sure they like rapping ass Drake too. But singing ass Drake is a little bit more, for the ladies. Rapping ass Drake, a little bit more for the fellas. Who cares if you got a ghostwriter? Everybody got a ghostwriter. I'm not really worried about that. The song's catchy. So I fucks with Drake on that level. My girl, my lady, she fucking hate Drake. So we're split in this household as far as musically. But anyway, Drake bought a motherfucking plane. Drake bought a 767 cargo plane. If you never, just go on the Google, type in 767 cargo plane, and you will see how astronomically big this shit is. They move like other vehicles in 767 cargo planes. You ain't moving no car on some Learjet, fancy NetJet shit. Drake got like a fucking mansion in the sky type, Air Force One type, 4-bedroom airplane shit. And just basically he flexed hard on the whole, if you got money and you don't have no big ass jet that you bought and paid for, and you can afford the pilot and the gas and the storage and all the shit that comes along with having a plane that size, the maintenance, then you ain't really doing shit. Like, there's a couple things, right, that when you have tons of money that you might see motherfuckers do, but then you find out that it's not their private jet. They are, they have like a little contract, or they have a little little agreement with NetJets and all of these other private jet companies where it's like, okay, anytime you need a little jet, you call us. We'll have that shit on the runway wherever you're at. You fly wherever you want to go. It's like 5 to 10 grand, whatever, wherever you're going. Same with yachts. Not everybody owns their own yacht. Fucking little boats are expensive as fuck to maintain, to dock, to do that shit. So when you see a motherfucker that has a boat and they're paying their slip fees and their gas fees and their shit is like 100 feet or 60, 80 feet, first, that shit costs an exorbitantly wild amount of money to maintain. Now, can you do it? Yes. It's not hard. If you make a good enough money, you will have to sacrifice like having some other shit. But, it's a summary thing. So it is what it is. A couple months out the summer, if you got it like that, you can afford a small boat. And by small boat, I mean like 30 feet, 35 feet. You're not getting no fucking 100-foot yacht. Not everybody can afford that shit. Not even the motherfuckers with money can afford that shit. And There's a lot of famous people that don't have anywhere to put a boat. So why would they just get that shit for special occasions? And that's okay. However, you know, or they rent the house wherever they go, shit like that. Drake has been notorious for being like, I own all my shit, which I can appreciate. He don't rent shit. So he went out and bought a motherfucking big ass plane. And, I'm not always saying super nice shit about Drake because he always comes out with this weird sing-songy shit that makes my fucking brain want to explode. But on this, I'm going to give 2 thumbs up to Drake for buying a motherfucking 767 cargo jet and turning it into a little mansion in the sky and just flexing on the whole fucking game. So, good job, Drake. Before we get out of here today, DJ Caveman went to see motherfucking Swan Lake. Now, for those of you not familiar with the ballet, and by ballet I mean like actual ballet, where, tutus and dancing and actual, no poles at this ballet. As opposed to the other ballet, which is where, I spend a majority of my time working, where there's a pole and the girls also have on, some of them, tutus from time to time, but those tutus come off. Different kind of ballet. For those of you who don't know, my lady is a 2nd grade teacher, and occasionally they do some field trip shit, and, I get to go as an extra chaperone, which means that I get to hang out with kids that I generally don't get to hang out with, and, insert my influence, but also help out. And I also get to do some stuff that I generally wouldn't be doing during the day. We could do some stuff with the Audubon Society, not the Audubon Society. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called right now. So I'm going to just call it the Audubon Society. And we do some stuff with, we take them on field trips to museums and things like that. So this one specifically was to Swan Lake, the ballet. Now, let's not get this confused with Black Swan, the Natalie Portman movie where she plays a ballerina, or second ballerina who does some shady shit to the prima ballerina so that she can be the swan in Swan Lake. Slightly different story. The short version is, Swan meets guy. Kind of like, damn, my memory's trash right now. But anyway, Swan meets guy, guy meets Swan. Guy can't marry Swan because Swan, and goes to his family, and his family wants him to marry these other 3 chicks, and he's like, fuck those chicks, I want to marry this Swan chick. And the dad is like, I don't really know if I want to fuck with you, but we'll see. And then they have a dance off, and then boom, happily ever after. Now, some of that is embellished. There's not really a dance, well, it's ballet, so there's kind of a dance off, but it signifies some other shit. So it's like a little battle, a little back and forth. I want your daughter, you can't have my daughter, but we love each other. Fight, fight, fight. Dance off, dance off, dance off. In the end, love prevails. And that's Swan Lake. That's the Cliff Notes, DJ Caveman Cliff Notes version of Swan Lake. I wouldn't use all of those details if you're writing a paper. You should watch the play or the ballet for yourself and let that shit, seep into your brain. Now, I say that to say this. Swan Lake was put on by the Festival Ballet here in Rhode Island. Shout out to the Festival Ballet. Hashtag label out. They did a fantastic job. So my late aunt used to take me to all kinds of stuff. She'd take me to see Alvin Ailey. Probably still the best ballet dance situation I've ever seen. She's taking me to see a bunch of the stuff. So seeing Swan Lake with a different... I've seen Swan Lake before. Not with my aunt, but I've seen Swan Lake with a different set of dancers. I do want to say that the Festival Ballet put this shit down. Like, they smashed it. The dancing was beautiful. I only saw one, what I would consider a mistake. Nobody got dropped on their face or anything like that. But, a little balance slip up. But that's only because everything else was on point. So when there's little shit happened, everybody was like, but they shook that shit off. Like, they didn't even happen, and they just kept it moving. If you've never seen Swan Lake, see Swan Lake. Which brings me to the soapbox portion of my shit of today's Saturday morning conversation. ballet is mad objectifying to men. I'm just gonna say that. Now, don't get me wrong. The other ballet where I work is very objectifying to women. So, I guess it's fair. But I feel like maybe they could just do a little bit, just a little bit, to like bring more of a male audience to ballet. Now, the quickest way to do this is just to cover the dudes the fuck up a little bit. Now, for those of you who've never been to the ballet, right? Ladies, they have the little tutu, they have the little tights, they have a little shirt thing, little leotard, right? It's called a leotard. And you can't see like the camel toe area while they're doing the dancing. However, with men, it's really just like, and I get some of it is costume, right? So like these dudes are soldiers, so they're dressed like soldiers. Or in this instance, there was a court jester, right? So he's dressed like a court jester. And, the prince is dressed like a prince on the top. So very princely, regal top, looking very prince-like to the waist. And then from the waist down, he's in like the Under Armour super small TO edition ballet leggings. Now, this would not be a huge issue if they like just brought the outfit down. Now, I get it. You want to be breathable. You want to be able to do those split type situations where you throw your leg way the fuck up in the air. You can't really do that shit in jeans. However, they do make loosely fitting, flexible, breathable, dancey shit. There's so the opposite of female ballerinas, where their whole camel toe, we'll refer to it as the camel toe area, is all like on display. The male camel toe area, we'll call it that for, just to be consistent. The male camel toe area is exposed. Not in like look at my dick swing situation, but they're not really hiding shit either. Think like Olympic onesie, but smaller. Think Under Armour leggings, like, you wear the leggings underneath your shorts when you go to the gym, or like really tight long johns. Think about those things. The T.O. videos of him like doing push-ups in the driveway or like just practicing, right? But they were like, it's like they went, "Oh, Joey, what size leotard do you wear?" And he said, "I'm like a large." And they were like, "Medium, got it." And he's like, "No, I'm a large." He'd be like, yeah, we're going to put you in the medium. Whoever invented the ballet outfits for dudes wanted the dude's junk to just be on full display. Now, I had to do some research because I'm always in some kind of rabbit hole when shit like just racks at my brain. And I'm like, why don't these guys wear cups or something, right? Like baseball players wear cups. Football players wear cups, some of them, I guess. Ballet guys, maybe they wear a cup. And maybe you don't have to see their beads and francs flopping around while they're doing all kinds of shit. Because in the pants are so tight that you could see the leg muscles coming out of the pants. And like, you can see like, I don't even know how to say this out loud. You can see like butt cheek separation in these motherfucking ballet pants that they put on these dudes. Butt cheek separation should never be a thing. But with that said, maybe that's the purpose. And that's really why I don't really fuck with ballet. Because like as athletically powerful as ballet dancers are. Like, this Jester dude was like jumping, like he looked like he could probably dunk the amount of height he was getting on some of these little spins, and they standing in one place and jumping high into the air and doing like fucking 14 spins, and then coming down on one leg and then throwing it and then doing the fucking ballet dancers, powerfully athletic. I can't do the shit. However, if I could do the shit, I would be like, yo, can we cover up my junk? Like, I don't need my junk on display. I want people to watch me dance. I want to be about the dancing. I don't want it to be about the package in front of the dancing. Like, if I want you to look at my package, I'm going to show it to you later. When I'm dancing, I don't want people to be distracted by the package. That shit is on like way too much display, especially for little kids. They want to introduce children to ballet, and they have the packages out on full display. And I mean, I guess they wear this little loincloth thing that's supposed to tone down the package. However, that shit don't fucking work. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. I don't want to really keep talking about it. Swan Lake was dope. The outfits for the men were way too revealing. Swan Lake was dope. And that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, pretty much. And with that said, it's going to fucking do it for another Saturday morning conversation. DJ Caveman riding solo. And I may or may not have been butt naked during this whole motherfucking podcast. I may or may not be covered in baby oil, sitting in the chair in my flip-flops and socks. May or may not have my abs on display right now while podcasting from the confines of the bedroom of Caveman. Make sure you catch us, all the episodes available on the Spreaker app, the Spotify, the SoundCloud, the Facebook. Like the page, Saturday Morning Conversation podcast show page on Facebook. Find us on all the places where you can get your podcasting. We're episode 33. It's your man, DJ Caveman, DJ Iron Monkey on assignment, DJ Vinny, the Rock Lord on cameras and other things. Well, we'll all be back from the Woodgrain Studios next week. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you go back. Check out all the other episodes. We out.